The American Inferno. A few thoughts upon New York. In the end, what is a man but his thoughts? I would prostrate further, what is a man to stand for but his thoughts? His actions, perhaps? I know precious little of actions. Lions, donkeys, hyenas, the beasts. They all act. So is that what we are? No. We are more and less than the beasts. We are thoughts. We are actions and reflections upon actions. Yet, we are not merely reflections. We are not mirrors. That is the preserve of spirits, of the gods. We are actions and the thoughts upon actions, neither one nor the other. We are free neither from action nor from thought. Our humanity can only be understood if we embrace both the animal and the God within us. As humans, we must nourish both. Yet America is a land of action, a place fixated not on ideas, not on the redemptive power of thought, but on the obliteration of the intellect. It is a place wherein mankind has attempted to deny half of his being, and in pursuing freedom has attempted to split himself. Much as a monk gives up the pleasures of the body, so the American is encouraged to give up the pleasures of the mind. He is led by desire into a pig pen, awaiting his own slaughter. With this in mind, I decided that my study would be best conducted by travelling round the country and seeing how we, as Americans, could best awaken both the gods and the animal within. I wandered into the Inferno, the grand human inferno, the fiery and mediocre hell that is Manhattan. A world built by men for the torture of their fellows. A place that shone beyond all reasonable doubt that when left to his own devices, when removing God entirely from his creation, man will induce not heaven, but hell. The gilded inferno, the marbled purgatory, this American churning sea of desire, the place where we see man for what he truly is and recoil in horror. He is the destroyer of all, of nature, of course, of his brothers, seemingly a sport, and finally, of himself. Men are fixated on greed, on desire, and on the acquisition not of experience or pleasures, but the ability to acquire. People are fixated on wealth. Man is reduced to the desire for desire. Wanting is all that matters. Not loving, not being, not having, but wanting. We are killers for desire. Even sport would be preferable. This is the grand sickness, the eternal sickness of this land. It is man unleashed. Man unleashed and turned into he knows not what. For inside he is nothing. So all that moves him, all that he understands is the external, the great churning sea of desire. It is not freedom. It is an impression of freedom for people who have not the capacity to see further. And why can they not see further? Because they have not been taught to see. If you wish for men truly to be free, if that is this nation's promise and not merely a sales pitch for snake oil, then we must first teach ourselves, and then our fellows, to see the glory in death. Yes, of course in life, but also in death. I realize the idea is abhorrent. I realize it is vulgar and distasteful. I realize it is perverse, but it's also the truth. As I travelled throughout Manhattan, from the migrant slums of the Lower East Side to the marble-clad mansions by the Central Park, I came to appreciate a hideous truth. The systems that allow poverty And degradation such as I saw is wrong, and the impacts of the degradation on humanity are profound. But far worse is the impact of wealth upon those who possess it and are possessed by it. To be removed from humanity, to live as a prisoner in a marble jail, to be isolated from humanity in such a manner is so profoundly anti-American as to make the whole conception of this nation is an absurdity. Even worse than our treatment of the... Nope. Manhattan at once depraves the poor and dehumanizes the rich. Its purpose is unhappiness, the nurturing and blooming of suffering. And this, we are informed, is the high point of American society. Nonsense. This is nonsense. American nonsense, yes, but nonsensical depictions nonetheless. The real America can only be found not in desires, but in the purity of its landscape.
Good morning, Uncle Arthur.
You damn fool!